Jinin Akebino. Jinin was once a member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, wielding Kabutowari, a fearsome weapon consisting of a single-bladed axe paired with a hammer, said to be able to break through any defense. With overwhelming combat skills and relentless attacks, Jinin could fully exploit the combination of speed and brute force that Kabutowari offered. He didn't just use the axe to strike at an opponent's guard. He immediately followed up with the hammer to shatter any obstacle, rendering any form of protection completely useless. After the Third Great Ninja War, Jinin and the Seven Swordsmen clashed with a group of shinobi from Konoha. At first, they had the upper hand, pushing the Konoha ninjas to the brink. However, Might Guy's father, arrived just in time, opened the 8 gates, and sacrificed himself to help the Konoha shinobi escape. Jinin Akebino died in that battle. During the war against the allied shinobi forces' 3rd Division, Jinin was resurrected by Kabuto Yakushi using Edo Tensei. Alongside the previous generation of Seven Swordsmen, he unleashed a brutal massacre under the cover of the thick mist created by Zabuza. Hidden within the fog, he easily closed in on his enemies, destroying their defensive weapons with the devastating combination of his axe and hammer. However, no one is without weaknesses. Jinin's fighting style focused too much on offense, leaving almost no defense, which created a major opening against fast opponents with strong counterattacks. Kakashi Hatake took full advantage of this flaw. When Zabuza was defeated, the mist cleared, exposing Jinin to the remaining enemies. In the end, overwhelmed by the sheer power of the allied shinobi forces, Jinin was completely sealed away. Juo Biwa. Juzo was another member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, wielding Kubikiri Bocho, the infamous sword that could regenerate itself using the blood of those it cut down. With this weapon, Juzo turned countless battlefields red with the blood of his enemies, building a terrifying reputation not just in Kirigakure, but across the entire shinobi world. Interestingly, he was one of the lucky few who survived an encounter with Might. In the anime, after this event, Juzo became a missing nin and joined the Akatsuki. Following the Uchiha clan's massacre, Pain assigned him to work alongside Itachi Uchiha. The two carried out many missions together, but when they were sent on an assignment in the Land of Water, Juzo was noticeably displeased. After completing the mission, Juzo and Itachi were ambushed by a squad of Hunter Enin led by Yagura, the 4th Mizukage of Kirigakure. Although Juzo and Itachi managed to defeat most of the Hunter Nin, Yagura, in his version 2 transformation, launched a tailed beast ball to finish them off. Juzo died in that battle. Chojurro. Chojurro was one of the last members of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, belonging to the final generation of this legendary group. In the past, he was a loyal protector and advisor to Mei Terumi, the 5th Mizukage. Despite his humble appearance and lack of an aggressive demeanor, Chojurro was actually one of the strongest and most skilled ninjas in Kirigakure. Being chosen to join the Seven Ninja Swordsmen was an honor that not just anyone could achieve. Over time, his abilities became even more exceptional, and he was eventually appointed as the 6th Mizukage of Kirigakure. Chojurro was considered a master of swordsmanship, not only among the Seven Ninja Swordsmen, but also among all the Kaj. Among them, he was rumored to be the most skilled swordsman and assassin. With Hiramekare, his sword techniques were highly versatile in battle. Thanks to its unique twin-handle design, he could split the sword into 2 blades, allowing him to fight as a dual-wielding warrior, making him extremely agile and effective in any combat situation. As Mizukage, Chojurro continued to prove his strength, even managing to fight on equal footing with Kenshiki Otsutsuki. In the anime, even without Hiramekare, he remained a formidable warrior. Armed with just a regular katana, he was still able to take on the new generation of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen, and a group of enemies wielding legendary swords. Kisame Hoshiaki. Kisame Hoshiaki also known as the Monster of the Hidden Mist, was an incredibly powerful shinobi and a prominent member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. He came from the Hoshigaki clan of Kirigakure and was widely recognized for his exceptional swordsmanship. Before joining Akatsuki, Kisame had already shown his ruthless nature and extraordinary combat skills when he killed his superior, Fuguki Suikazan, and took possession of the sword Samehada. After joining Akatsuki, he was assigned to capture Jinchuriki, one of the organization's main objectives. Not long after becoming a member, Kisame and Itachi Uchiha proved their strength and teamwork by easily capturing Roshi, the Four Tails Jinchuriki. Kisame was also known for his ability to subdue targets without causing excessive injuries, a skill he claimed was the best in Akatsuki. Kisame was not only a fearsome close combat fighter, but also possessed unique abilities thanks to his massive chakra reserves. He earned the nickname Tailed Beast Without a Tail because his chakra levels were abnormally high, surpassing most members of Akatsuki. With Samehada, he could absorb his opponent's chakra, making him even stronger as battles progressed. On top of that, Samehada was no ordinary sword. It could also heal Kisame's wounds during fights, making him even harder to defeat. That said, we didn't get to see much of Kisame's swordsmanship in action. His weapon was simply too overpowered. It was strong, had sentience, and could do so much on its own that Kisame often overwhelmed his enemies using brute strength and water-release ninjutsu rather than intricate sword techniques. Mangettu Hosuki. Mangettu Hosuki was an exceptional shinobi from the Hosuki clan, one of the strongest clans in Kirigakure. Along with his younger brother, Suigetsu, Mangetsu dreamed of becoming a member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist from a young age. This ambition pushed both of them through countless brutal assassination missions, turning them into battle-hardened warriors. Mangetsu eventually achieved his goal and became a member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen. He wasn't just an outstanding swordsman. He was the only one who could wield all 7 legendary swords of the group, including the notoriously difficult Samehada. Because of this, he was entrusted with carrying all 7 swords in a scroll. Mangetsu wasn't only skilled in swordsmanship, he was also a terrifyingly powerful fighter in other ways. He was a master of the silent killing technique, an extremely dangerous assassination method that allowed him to eliminate enemies without leaving a trace. During the battle against the allied shinobi forces, he used this technique under the cover of the hiding in mist technique to take down his targets without being detected. This proved that even without a sword, Mangetsu could still massacre his opponents with incredible speed and precision. Although the anime didn't provide much detail about Mangetsu, when the former 7 ninja swordsmen were revived by Kabuto Yakushi, he demonstrated his true strength. In that battle, Mangetsu was the last of the revived swordsmen to remain standing, despite being continuously attacked by enemies. Kushimaru Kurarare. Kushimaru Kurarare was a jonin from Kirigakure and another member of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist. Throughout his life, Kushimaru became infamous not only for his combat abilities, but also for his brutal and cruel actions. Kushimaru fought with the sword Nubari, a unique long blade that could pierce enemies with incredible accuracy. In general, it resembled an oversized sewing needle. With this sword, Kushimaru could not only stab through multiple enemies in one strike, but he could also use it to stitch his victims' bodies together with a thin thread, creating a deadly web. It looked extremely painful and terrifying. Overall, we didn't have many opportunities to see this character wielding his sword, but if we did, he might have had a lot of fans because of his cool design. Rya Kroski. Rya Kroski is a notable member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. Before leaving the village, Rya was also a member of the Anbu, an elite group of shinobi from Kirigakure. This means his strength was on par with top jonin level. Rya joined the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist before or during the Third Great Ninja War, where he wielded the Thunder Swords, Kiba. These were twin swords imbued with the power of lightning, considered some of the sharpest swords, capable of cutting through anything. His power wasn't just in his sword skills, but also in his excellent control over lightning. Rya could use Kiba not only for close combat, but also to perform lightning techniques from a distance, making his attacks incredibly fast and powerful. His ability to control lightning was so great that he could summon bolts of lightning directly from the sky, using them as weapons for both offense and defense. The power of these bolts was strong enough to defeat opponents with a single strike, even able to defeat Neji and Naruto with just one lightning blow. As long as Rya could access natural lightning, he could fight without tiring, making long battles an advantage for him. Zabuza Mamochi. Zabuza Mamochi is one of the most powerful and terrifying shinobi in the history of Kirigakure. Just to remind you, he single-handedly killed over 100 trained academy students, clearly showing that even as a child, he possessed extraordinary combat abilities. Zabuza had extraordinary physical strength, easily wielding the massive Kubikari Bocho sword without any difficulty, even using just one hand. He also had incredible speed and taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat skills. During his fight with Kakashi, he demonstrated fluid movements in his strikes, even when both his arms were disabled, using kunai with his mouth. Known for his stealth and being a master assassin, Zabuza became famous across the countries for his ability to kill in near-zero visibility. Zabuza's silent killing technique is one of the deadliest assassination techniques, and even Kakashi acknowledges that no one could match him in this regard. The hiding in mist technique helped elevate silent killing to another level. When dense mist enveloped the battlefield, the target not only lost sight but also fell into a state of being hunted. There was no knowing where the enemy was, no sound to hear, no warning signs. And then, before you knew it, death would come. This is why Kabuto Yakushi, a man known for his scheming and only valuing useful assets, was willing to sacrifice many other summoned ninjas to protect Zabuza, ensuring that the hiding in mist technique wouldn't be interrupted. Just that alone shows how dangerous he truly was. Jinpachi Munashi. Jinpachi is one of the members of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. The weapon Jinpachi uses in battle is a truly unique and dangerous creation, the sword Shibuki. This special sword is equipped with a large number of explosive tags. Every time one of the tags explodes, a roll of paper inside the sword automatically replenishes more explosive tags onto its edge, allowing Jinpachi to continue attacking without interruption. However, this weapon is not without its risks. Using these explosive tags can cause significant damage to both the enemy and the user if not handled carefully. But Jinpachi can control Shibuki with great precision, enabling him to avoid the explosions while still using their power to eliminate his enemies. This is why I say he's a very skilled swordsman. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Jinpachi and other members of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist were resurrected in a reanimated form under Kabuto Yakushi's command. After taking a strong attack without being harmed, Jinpachi retrieved his Shibuki sword from Mangettu Hosuki's scroll and began launching powerful attacks. He literally exploded his enemies. When Zabuza Mamochi was defeated, the mist cleared, revealing Jinpachi, who then directly confronted his enemies. He and Kushimaru continued to massacre the forces of the allied shinobi until Kakashi appeared to face them. Despite their immortality and overwhelming strength, both were eventually sealed, bringing an end to their lives. Amayori Ringo. Amayori Ringo is another member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, and she's a woman. As an extremely skilled swordswoman, Amayori wields the sword Kiba, a pair of very dangerous swords that are said to be the sharpest ever. Kiba consists of two blades, creating an incredibly powerful attack when combined with lightning chakra. This makes Amayori a very difficult opponent to defeat, as her swords have the ability to cut through anything. Additionally, she is highly skilled in fighting with two swords, proving herself to be a master of swordsmanship with both hands. Amayori is also known for her fast and agile spinning attacks, where she spins around and strikes all nearby enemies without leaving any openings. Anything related to lightning is extremely fast and sharp. In the anime, she can surround her opponents with powerful lightning strikes, not only trapping them, but also launching close-range attacks with a speed that makes them impossible to dodge. She can also shoot lightning bolts with high precision, attacking each target accurately. Well, despite her strength, after being summoned by Edo Tensei, she was eventually sealed. Fuguki Suikazan. Fuguki Suikazan is also one of the members of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. During his time as a jonin and as a member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen, Fuguki wielded the sword Samihara. With this sword, Fuguki not only had great combat abilities, but also the power to absorb chakra from his opponents, weakening their strength. To use Samihara effectively, Fuguki needed a large and abundant chakra reserve, showing that he was not just a powerful warrior, but also possessed an impressive amount of chakra. He was the one who survived an encounter with Might Guy, so it can be said that he was a strong swordsman. After this battle, Fuguki assigned Kisame Hoshiaki, one of his subordinates, to join the Codebreaker unit to protect the important information of the village. However, Fuguki told Kisame that in an emergency, that information was more important than any life, even the lives of their teammates. Because of this, Kisame, during a mission to protect crucial codes, decided to kill his own teammates when they were at risk of being captured by Ibiki Morino. This marked an important turning point in Kisame's career, as he crossed every boundary of loyalty. But Fuguki was ultimately killed by Kisame when Kisame discovered that Fuguki was betraying the village by revealing important information to the enemy. Fuguki's death marked the end of the existence of a once respected warrior. Well, even though we never got to see his swordsmanship skills, his death also opened up a new era, with Kisame becoming the successor of the Samihara sword and joining the Seven Ninja Swordsmen. He continued to fight under the command of Yagura and as an ally of Obito Uchiha. Mifune. Mifune is one of the greatest samurai warriors and also the general, Taisho, of the Land of Iron. As a samurai, he is certainly skilled in the use of swords. Samurai are known for their quick draw technique, where they draw their sword, strike their opponent, and then sheath the sword in one smooth motion. Mifune's mastery of this technique made warriors like Hanzo and others acknowledge that using hand signs was useless when facing him. Mifune could draw his sword, move quickly, and strike within a short amount of time, making it impossible for his opponents to complete the necessary hand seals. That's why those who faced him were nearly powerless when Mifune attacked. In the anime, Mifune is also shown with some impressive abilities, such as cutting through a lit candle without extinguishing the flame, or stopping an attack in a split second. The battle between Mifune and Hanzo during the Fourth Great Ninja War became a decisive clash. Mifune cut Hanzo's kusarigama in half and sliced through his body, even cutting his mask. After defeating Hanzo, Mifune did not show any arrogance. Instead, he criticized Hanzo for abandoning his ideals. Mifune even persuaded Hanzo about the possibilities of peace, and Hanzo was so convinced that he decided to end his own life, giving the allied shinobi a chance to seal him away. Mifune truly is an incredibly powerful samurai, both in swordsmanship and with a very high sense of honor. Killer Bee. Killer Bee, we are all very familiar with him, the strongest rapper in the series and the Jinchuriki of the Three Tails. But let's talk about his Kenjutsu skills. Throughout his growth, Killer Bee developed an impressive swordsmanship ability. He can use 8 swords at the same time by holding them between his finger joints, elbows, legs, and mouth. While this may seem strange, Killer Bee is very skilled at using this technique. He can create unexpected attacks from many different angles, similar to his hip-hop dance style, making it hard for his opponents to react in time. When he finds an opening, he uses these swords to strike directly at his opponent with high precision, usually targeting vital weak points. Just imagine using 8 swords at once while continuously rapping and talking smack without any stress. This is absolute skill. Honestly, if we took away all the special swords from the other swordsmen and gave each of them a regular katana, Killer Bee would probably be the strongest swordsman. With his swordsmanship talent, Killer Bee can overcome even well-trained swordsmen, including those with Sharingan. I'm telling you, if Sasuke didn't have his teammates during that encounter, Killer Bee would have finished him off. He can also use swords as long-range weapons, throwing them like precise missiles. When he got his hands on Samehada, the special sword, Killer Bee quickly integrated it into his fighting style. He can coordinate attacks with Samehada seamlessly and even use it to store the swords when they're not in use. Not only is he powerful, but Killer Bee is also a great teacher when it comes to swordsmanship. Well, after all, he's the one who trained Omoi and Karui. Sasuke. Sasuke was extremely skilled with weapons from a young age. After the time skip, we see Sasuke using a sword. The sword he uses is the Kusanagi. Unlike Orochimaru's Kusanagi, Sasuke's sword does not have the ability to extend or bend, but it is incredibly sharp and can channel lightning chakra to increase its destructive power. This allows Sasuke to cut through opponents and even paralyze them with just one slash. In addition, the Sharingan helps Sasuke read his opponent's movements, allowing him to react quickly and perform precise counterattacks. During his battle with Itachi, even though he mainly used ninjutsu, Sasuke still had moments where he used his sword to put pressure on his older brother. During the Fourth Ninja War, Sasuke continued to develop his Kenjutsu skills as he faced powerful opponents like Madara and Kaguya. When he awakened the Rinnegan, he was even able to combine Kenjutsu with Amino Tejikara, allowing him to teleport and create surprise attacks. Later on, Sasuke developed Uchiha-style Kenjutsu and passed this technique on to his student, Boruto, helping him learn the essence of swordsmanship and advance his fighting abilities to a whole new level. This style clearly reflects Sasuke's combat philosophy: neat, efficient, and without unnecessary movements. It's a technique that demands intense focus, quick judgment, and sharp combat instincts, true to the spirit of an Uchiha. Alright, that's all for this episode. If you want me to make a video about any other topic or a specific character, just leave a comment below. Kurasu. Kurasu is the first puppet introduced to the audience through the character Kankuro. It is the puppet Kankuro usually hides under the bandages on his back, positioned so he can quickly draw and use it in battle. In appearance, Kurasu has a rather peculiar design with 3 eyes and 4 arms. Despite its strange look, Kurasu has an impressive ability to disguise itself as a regular person. Kankuro cleverly used this puppet to impersonate a proctor during the written exam of the Chunin exams. Another time, through the body replacement technique, Kankuro swapped places with Kurasu, effectively deceiving his opponent in a one-on-one battle. In terms of combat abilities, Kurasu is designed as an offensive puppet, equipped with numerous weapons, all laced with poison. In fact, this is a common trait of almost all puppets in Naruto. Each one is like a walking arsenal. Just by looking at the battle between Shino and Kankuro, you get a glimpse of the arsenal Kankuro has installed in his puppet. There are kunai, scythes, needles like senbon, and even poisonous smoke bombs, all placed in any spot you can imagine. This creates surprise attacks that catch opponents off guard. Every time Kurasu launches an attack with one of its weapons, you'll be thinking, "Oh, another one?" Yeah, I'm sure you'll be like that. In addition to its weapons, Kurasu is equipped with a camera installed in one of its eyes. Kankuro cleverly used this feature to gather information during the written part of the Chunin exams. Beyond its offensive abilities, Kurasu can also work in tandem with Kurowari, another puppet in Kankuro's collection, to execute deadly combo attacks. However, compared to more complex puppets featured later in this video, Kurasu is better suited for solo battles. Next, Kurowari. Kurowari is another puppet used by Kankuro. Like Kurasu, it has a strange appearance, but with a much longer head, resembling a horse's face. Its body is quite large, similar to a barrel, designed specifically for capturing and restraining opponents. When used together with Kurasu, this duo can unleash deadly combo attacks. Kurowari traps the opponent inside its body, locking them in and restricting their movements, while Kurasu uses its sharp blades to stab the opponent through the openings in Kurowari's body. Yes, Kankuro used this technique on Seikon and Ukon, delivering a painful end to one of the Sound 4. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Kankuro revealed that he possessed two Kurowari puppets and used them both to simultaneously trap Cesori and Deidara. Sancho. Sancho is a defensive puppet created by Cesori and later passed down to Kankuro. In terms of defense, Sancho is equipped with a multi-layered defense system. Its hollow body can shelter Kankuro and up to 2 other people, providing safe protection from attacks coming from all directions. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, Sancho was used to trap Shin, Sai's brother. As you know, when a soul is summoned with Edo Tensei, they have an immortal body. Taking advantage of this, Deidara planted a bomb inside Shin's body and detonated it while Shin was trapped. As a result, the puppet was destroyed by Deidara's clay bomb, but it successfully contained most of the explosion's force. Heruko. Heruko is a special puppet used by Cesori, a puppet master and member of the Akatsuki organization. Unlike regular puppets, Heruko isn't just designed for attacking. It also serves as a protective armor for Cesori. With this design, Cesori can hide inside Heruko, turning it into the perfect tool for both offense and defense. According to Chio, Heruko is one of Cesori's favorite puppets, showing his special attachment to it. Cesori often dressed Heruko in the signature Akatsuki cloak, making the puppet so closely associated with him that many only recognize Cesori when he's wearing Heruko. Like all other puppets, Heruko is equipped with various weapons: senbon launchers in its mouth, a hard shell on its back for enhanced defense, and an arm that can shoot out and fire senbon in all directions. All of Heruko's weapons are coated with Cesori's special poison, which causes victims to suffer 3 days of agonizing paralysis before death. Cesori took great pride in this poison. Notably, Heruko has an extendable iron tail with a sharp blade at the end, resembling a scorpion's tail. Cesori used this tail to grab Kankuro's puppet, preventing it from reaching Deidara, and to block Naruto's shuriken, showing its versatility. Even though Heruko was ultimately smashed by Sakura and didn't play a significant role in the fight between Sasori, Sakura, and Chio, it still stands as a prime example of Sasori's puppet craftsmanship. Third Kazakage. This special human puppet was created by Cesori from the body of the third Kazakage of the Hidden Sand Village. Yes, he killed the third Kazakage, who was considered the strongest Kage among all the Kages of the Sand Village. To accomplish this, Cesori put in a lot of effort, which is why this puppet became his favorite. Turning the third Kazakage into a puppet not only gave Cesori a powerful weapon, but also allowed him to use the abilities that the Kazakage had while he was alive, including the magnet release Kekkei Genkai. Cesori could control iron sand and shape it into any weapon he wanted. In addition, Cesori installed many types of weapons into this puppet's body, such as kunai, poisonous smoke bombs, senbon, blades, and many other things, all coated with his special poison. What makes this puppet even more terrifying is that Cesori also coated the iron sand with this poison, which has an extremely wide coverage. This made the puppet a true nightmare on the battlefield. In the battle between Cesori, Sakura, and Chio, this puppet caused quite a lot of trouble for his 2 opponents. It even managed to disable Chio's 2 parent puppets and cripple one of her arms by having the iron sand invade the joints of those puppets and her arm. Unfortunately, in a moment of underestimating his opponents and becoming careless, Cesori brought the puppet too close to Sakura without being cautious, and the puppet was destroyed when Sakura punched it. Father and Mother. Father and Mother are the first 2 puppets that Cesori created, modeled after the appearance of his biological parents, who were killed by Tsukumo Hatake, the White Fang of the Hidden Leaf, during a battle. These puppets not only carry strength, but also the tragic history of their creator. Losing his parents at a young age, Cesori was haunted by loneliness and a longing for family love throughout his life. When his grandmother, Chio, taught him the art of puppet manipulation, hoping to ease his sorrow, Cesori created the father and mother puppets, trying to recreate the love he desperately craved. However, these soulless puppets could not fill the void, and Cesori eventually abandoned them when he left Tsunagakure. After he left, Chiyo kept the two puppets and upgraded them for combat. Initially, Cesori did not equip them with any weapons or fighting capabilities. However, after he abandoned them, Chiyo made a series of improvements, including adding weapons so they could be used in battle. These two puppets were equipped with chakra shields in their arms and sharp-cutting wires between their fingers to create lethal cuts. The mother puppet wields a serrated katana, while the father puppet uses a segmented wooden whip equipped with kunai blades. Despite these upgrades, Cesori easily neutralized both with the iron sand from the third Kaze Kage puppet. In the end, when the Kaze Kage puppet was destroyed and the iron sand was no longer an obstacle, Chiyo used the two puppets to end Cesori's life. In a position resembling an embrace, the first two puppets he ever created were also the ones that brought his life to its conclusion. In reality, he fully accepted this fate. Perhaps he had suffered and awaited this moment for a long time. When Cesori's soul was summoned through the impure world reincarnation, he realized that his legacies had somehow granted him immortality. His creations were fully embraced. Cesori passed on the mother and father puppets to Kankuro, advising him to pass them down to the next generation. Sasori. Chiyo turned one of her arms into a puppet arm, while Cesori turned almost his entire body into a puppet. Inside Cesori's stomach, there was a thick cable coiled around a column with a sharp tip, which could be used like a tail to attack and retract when necessary. This cable was coated with Sasori's poison, and while it resembled Heruko's tail, its reach was much greater. On the back of Sasori's hips, there were two columns, each equipped with 5 large blades that could rotate like propellers. Anything that came into contact with them could be sliced apart. Cesori had pipes running through each of his arms, capable of releasing strong fire or powerful water blasts. On his back, Cesori had a holder that carried 4 rolls of paper, which seemed to store his resources, one of which was used to store his puppets. However, not all of Cesori's body was a puppet. Cesori kept his living core in the left side of his chest, where a human heart would be. This was the crucial point that kept him alive. When Cesori was still alive, his living core maintained the connection between his puppet body and its joints through chakra threads. Therefore, if attacked with great force, the parts of the puppet would separate, absorbing the impact and avoiding real damage. Afterward, he could reconnect the joints, making it extremely difficult to destroy the puppet. However, when this core died, Cesori's life came to an end. Later, when Cesori was summoned during the Fourth Ninja War with an indestructible body and was manipulated by Kabuto, he believed that this new body was truly immortal and that he had become a real puppet. In the end, Cesori's puppet was retrieved by Kankuro and became part of his collection. This is perhaps the strongest legacy of the once great master of puppetry, the Chikamatsu Collection of 10 puppets. The Chikamatsu Collection of 10 puppets was created by the great puppet master Monzaemon Chikamatsu, and later came into the hands of Chiyo, who used them to gain immense fame. According to Cesori, these puppets possess incredible power, with each capable of destroying an entire castle. They have terrifying strength in various fields, such as taijutsu, ninjutsu, bukijutsu, and more. However, their true strength lies in their ability to fight in coordination. They can combine their efforts to attack and defend, making the variety of techniques they display even more diverse. Puppet number 1 has the appearance of a demon with a pair of horns on its head. Although it has no weapons or hidden mechanisms, it possesses enormous hands with great strength. Chiyo uses it to push back attackers. This puppet always stays close to Chiyo to protect her when she controls the other puppets. Puppet number 2 has a face that somewhat resembles a horse. It has huge hands and powerful taijutsu skills. In the anime, this puppet can extend its arms to create a cage to trap an enemy, then shoot 4 small bombs from its mouth. Though the explosions are small, they are very precise, dealing significant damage without destroying the cage. Puppet number 3 can open part of its face to reveal a rotating ball, with 4 large chakra blades, resembling a fan. These chakra blades spin extremely fast and are used to damage the enemy. However, its true power is best realized when combined with puppet number 4, the puppet with black hair. The hands of this puppet can connect to the hands of puppet number 3, allowing it to throw puppet number 3 and use the chakra blades to quickly slice through multiple targets. However, if either of them is destroyed, the other becomes vulnerable. Puppet number 5 is a bald puppet with large holes on its head. Its hidden weapon is long cables coiled inside its head, which can pierce through many enemies at once. With a very long reach, it can attack targets from a distance without getting close. Now, let's move on to the 3 puppets in this collection that can use ninjutsu. Each of these 3 puppets has a character from the Buddhist teachings, Buddha, law, and monk, inside their mouths. When they combine, they are capable of performing the 3 jewels suction crushing technique. When this jutsu is activated, a powerful whirlwind appears, sucking everything into the center of the triangle. Anything pulled into the center is crushed with immense force and then shot out from the back. Although this technique is very powerful, it can become overloaded if too many objects are sucked in at once. And the fact that the 3 puppets must remain still makes them vulnerable to attacks. Puppet number 9 is designed to resemble a woman with red hair tied into a bun. It wields 2 large swords, capable of easily slicing enemies in half, though the size of the weapons reduces the puppet's agility. This is one of the primary attacking puppets in the collection. Puppet number 10 has 1 eye and the ability to shoot a sphere from its mouth to perform the sealing technique, lion closing roar. This technique completely blocks the chakra flow of the target by using a sealing formula drawn on a flat surface. When the target is sealed, all of their tenketsu points are closed, preventing them from using chakra. Overall, each puppet has its own unique characteristics and abilities, but when combined, they become a force with tremendous destructive power. Chio used the lion-headed cannon tool to carry out this technique. This tool initially starts as a small ball, but when thrown by Sakura, it transforms into a large lion head, tightly holding Cesori. 100 Puppet Army. This is the army Cesori used to destroy an entire country. During the battle, Cesori took a summoning scroll from his back. He then opened the compartment in his right chest and released 100 chakra threads, extending them into the scroll. From the scroll, more than 100 puppets wearing red cloaks appeared. Normally, even the best puppet masters can only control up to 10 puppets at once, with each finger controlling 1. This technique is proof of Cesori's superiority in using the puppet technique. The major difference here is the ability to control directly from Cesori's core, eliminating any delay between his will and the actions of the puppets. The puppets, of course, are all equipped with weapons, all kinds of weapons, any weapon you can think of. However, they have almost no ability to cooperate with each other and fight like individual beings. This makes them easy to defeat. However, they were still able to destroy a few of Chio's puppets in the White Secret technique, 10-man killing machine. They were enough to overwhelm the opponent with their sheer numbers and overwhelming pressure. As the number of puppets decreased, they didn't lose their danger. On the contrary, this allowed Cesori to focus on controlling the remaining puppets more effectively. Haruno Sakura. In this battle, perhaps the strongest puppet was actually Sakura. That's right, there was a time when Chio connected her chakra threads to Sakura, turning her into a living puppet. But the difference is that Sakura wasn't just a controlled tool. She had consciousness, thinking, and still had the ability to act freely without being completely dependent on the puppet master. This was a creative strategy used to bridge the gap in battle experience between Sakura and Cesori. Cesori, with his exceptional puppet control skills and the third Keizei Kage puppet, was a formidable opponent. However, the combination of Chio's extensive battle experience and Sakura's physical strength and combat instincts created an unexpected balance. Sakura was the most versatile puppet, and Sakura was very smart. She was able to come up with a strategy to bait the third Kazekage puppet closer and deliver a punch that destroyed it, thus neutralizing its iron sand ability. Well, it's no surprise that the battle between Cesori, Sakura, and Chio is considered one of the most epic fights in the series. I highly recommend everyone watch the anime. Automatic puppets. Automatic puppets are a type of puppet that can function on their own after being provided with a portion of chakra, without the need for continuous control from the user. The first known automatic puppets were used by the Otsutsuki clan. Later, the shinobi world developed their own automatic puppets through the use of ninja science tools. Unlike regular puppets, these puppets can withstand most damage that would normally destroy a standard puppet, and they only stop functioning when they overheat or are completely destroyed. Tonari Otsutsuki used these puppets as personal servants or in battle, and they acted according to his thoughts. These puppets demonstrated their superiority by overpowering Hayashi Hyuga, the leader of the Hyuga clan. The Kara organization was the first to create automatic puppets using modern technology. They were used to protect the vessel of Ishiki Otsutsuki during transport. Equipped with ninja science tools, these puppets could continuously spew fire until they overheated. These puppets were powerful enough to challenge Jonin-level shinobi. Alright, that's all for this episode. If you want me to make a video about any other topic or a specific character, just leave a comment below.